Hi everyone, this is Miss Lindenberg with the Literacy Lab, and I am super excited to be reading a book with you today called The Very Last Castle. The Very Last Castle was written by Travis Jonker, and the pictures were drawn by Mark Pett. The book was published by Abrams Books for Young Readers in New York. I chose this book because I really love that the main character, Ib, right here, is so curious and brave. She doesn't let other people's opinions or fears about something stop her from doing what she feels is the right thing to do. The book shows us that we shouldn't assume or guess something about someone or something if we don't know anything about it. There are some important words we need to go over before we start reading. The first word is expect. Expect means what you think will happen. This girl did not expect to be surprised by all her friends on her birthday. The next word is requested. Requested. Politely ask for something. This person right here is requesting some pie from this person. He's even saying please. And finally, trembled. Trembled is shake with fear or nervousness. I trembled while I was waiting in line to give a speech in front of my whole class. All right. I wonder what Ib will find out about the castle and who this man is right here. I also wonder if Ib and this man will become friends. Let's find out. Let's start reading. The Very Last Castle. In the middle of a small town stood something you might not expect. Expect. Our first word. What you think. In the middle of a small town stood something you might not expect. A castle. It was, in fact, the very last castle. There had been others, but over time they had all been taken down, or fallen apart, or been destroyed. All but one. For reasons no one could remember, no one ever came out, and no one was allowed in. Up in the tower, the guard watched the townspeople silently pass by. Then there was Ib. Every day she walked past the castle all alone. Every day she stopped. She looked up. She saw the lone guard, standing stone still. Clunk. Since no one had been inside the castle, the townspeople had ideas about who, or what, was in there. Snap, snap, snap. Monsters, said Miss Wicks. Thud, thud, thud. Giants, said Alex. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Snakes, said Ib's grandfather. Maybe it's something terrible, Ib thought one day, but maybe it's something else. Plunk. What do you think could be in the castle? Do you think it's something scary like the townspeople think? Thanks for sharing. Those are some good thoughts. Let's keep reading and find out. The next morning, Ib walked past the castle. She stopped and looked up at the tower. No guard. Ib had an idea. She floated across the moat, walked up to the door, and, with all the strength she had, knock, knock, knocked. Hiss! Oh my goodness, how do you think Ib is feeling in this moment? Look at her face. Yeah, I think that's right. I think she's really scared. Ib didn't stop running until she was sitting in her desk at school, scared and out of breath. Maybe Grandpa was right. She didn't tell anyone what had happened. Not long after, an envelope arrived. Inside was an invitation. Your presence is requested at the front gate of the castle on Sunday at noon. Requested is another one of our words. Requested means politely ask. Your presence is requested at the front gate of the castle on Sunday at noon. Everyone told Ib to stay away. Monsters, said Miss Wicks. Giants, said Alex. Snakes, said her grandfather. Why do you think that all the townspeople think something so scary is in the castle? Yeah, I think so too. I think that because they don't know, they're afraid, and sometimes when you don't know something, it can be a little scary. Maybe it's something terrible, Ib thought. Could it be something else? On Sunday, Ib stood all alone outside the front gate. With a loud thunk, the drawbridge began to lower. She trembled. Trembled means shake with fear or nervousness. With a loud thunk, the drawbridge began to lower. She trembled. She looked up at the tower. Empty. She took a deep breath. Slowly, Ib did something none of the townspeople had ever done. She walked inside. It turned out Miss Wicks and Alex had been right. There were monsters, and there were giants, but no snakes. Welcome, came a voice, a kind voice. It was the guard. He removed his helmet. He was much older than Ib had expected, or thought. I'm the last one left. May I show you around? For the rest of the day, Ib and the guard, his name was William, visited every corner of the castle. Before long, they were pruning near the great hall, snap, 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 and harvesting by the palace, thud, thud, thud. They ended up where they had started. Why now? Asked Ib. All the other castles are gone, answered William. Someday I will be too. I want someone brave to take my place, someone curious. Will you help me? Ib thought about William, all on his own. She thought about her family and friends outside the castle. She thought, and then she knew. Yes, Ib replied, but I have a request. Or something that she wants to ask William. In the middle of a small town stood the very last castle. Sometimes someone came out. And everyone was welcome in. Wow, what a wonderful story. Thank you so much for reading that with me. I'm going to go back to the front cover so we can look at it while we're talking about it. So, let's review. At the beginning of the book, Ib, the girl who lives in a small town, is very curious about what is inside the castle. Nobody's ever been inside the castle. All the townspeople have their own ideas about what's inside, but Ib wants to find out for herself. In the middle of the book, she decides that she will find out. So she knocks on the door, but she sees some snakes and she's so scared that she runs all the way to school. Then she gets a letter in the mail inviting her to the castle. At the end of the book, she goes to the castle and meets William, the guard. He is really nice. He shows her all around the castle, and he tells her that he's worried what will happen to the castle after he is no longer able to be the guard. He asks Ib for her help. Ib thinks about it and she says she would love to help. But she has one request. She wants the castle to be open to the town, so that everyone in the town can enjoy it, like she did. And it is. We can see at the end of the book that all the townspeople are enjoying the castle, and William has some new friends. Okay. The words that we talked about were expect, what you think. In the small town, you would not expect to see a castle, but there is one. The next word that we talked about was requested. Politely ask. William requested that Ib go to the castle. And the last word, trembled. When Ib was waiting to go inside the castle, she trembled because she was so afraid and nervous. Okay. I'm really glad that Ib decided to go see for herself what was inside the castle. Was there ever a time that you did something like Ib? Was there ever a time that you really wanted to find out more about something or learn about something, but people told you shouldn't? But you thought it was the right thing to do, so you did. And it turned out to be a really good thing? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I've done that before. One time, I wanted to learn more about dance and take a dance class, but my family was kind of nervous because I had never taken a dance class before and they thought I wouldn't like it. But I ended up taking the class, and it turned out that I loved it. And I was so glad that I found out for myself. Okay. I hope that the book has inspired you to be brave and curious like Ib, and has inspired you to try something new, even if other people are scared and nervous, and even if you are too. Thank you so much for reading The Very Last Castle with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.